Today we're going to have a look at the SuperPro bushes that we offer for the Land Rover Discovery Series 3, Series 4 and the Range Rover Sport L320 model. These are the lower front control arm bushes, which are a common service failure, a common replacement either on MOT or normal service inspection. I'm going to talk about what SuperPro have done to engineer a solution for that particular issue. So in front of me I've got an original Land Rover arm. It's a nice shiny new one, I can't deny that, and I know the ones that come off the cars don't look like this, but it's a good example of what it is that we're talking about. So essentially you've got a front bush, which is this one, and you've got a rear bush, which is this one here. The first thing to observe is that the bush on the rear, although it looks like it's a rubber bush externally, actually is hydraulic. So within this assembly there is a hydraulic fluid. And that's where a lot of the problems actually come from, because the rubber can get perforated, the hydraulic fluid can escape, and as a consequence that will then allow the arm to move in an uncontrolled manner a lot more than it was intended to. However, it's also important because the existence of the fluid is there for a reason. It is because Land Rover recognised that this particular mounting needs to have some movement to it. And that movement is critical to the way the actual front suspension works, particularly the control of the wheel alignment. So that's that bush. This bush at this end, which being the front bush, is actually very heavily laden. So it does take a lot of the braking loads, a lot of the actual force of the car. Bear in mind it's a 2.5 ton car. Under braking loads from high speeds, all the load is going through this bush at the front of the car. When SuperPro set about engineering a solution for particularly this problem with the bush leaking at the back, they looked at the way this suspension system works, they evaluated how it works on cars, and then set about designing the solutions to achieve the result they were looking for. So the objective is to try and create something that is more durable and longer lasting than this original setup, but doesn't at the same time compromise how this works. So the movement that this offers has to be replicated, and also it has to be done in a manner that doesn't make the ride quality in the car harsh. What we don't want to do is to increase the harshness of the suspension, and also we don't want to make the car uncomfortable for the driver. So those factors had to be taken into consideration when the design was initiated. So for the front, the solution is a bush that looks like that. Critical features of it still show around the outside, which is essentially there to provide the strength it needs to cope with those loads I was talking about previously. And in common with all SuperPro products, the tube at the centre is not bonded to the bush. Although it comes like that, it might look like it's bonded. It's not. You can push it out quite easily. And what that means is that when that's assembled in the arm and the tube is inside it, the arm can rotate freely around the bush at the centre of it. That's a critical part of making polyurethane work in this application. So that's the solution for the front. A nice strong bonded shell part bush with a steel tube at the centre that's free pivoting. At the rear, different set of issues because of the need to replicate the movement that the original bush has got. So what the solution is a bush that looks like that. This bush has got grooves in it. When it's assembled in the arm, this allows the bush to replicate the movement that the original equipment bush had with the hydraulic liquid in it. But it's a very resilient material. So what it's doing now is it's providing a level of control that the original equipment bush wouldn't be able to do. So the resilience of the material is pushing back against the loads that are forced on it. And that translates into a more precise sense of what the steering is doing through the steering wheel when you're driving the car. The bush is in 4 parts. You've got a steel tube at the centre. So the idea would be you press that bush in, steel tube goes at the centre, and then you have 2 washers, one that goes on the front and one that goes on the rear. And by doing that, that assembly then creates a solution for this problem. So what you've now got is a bush that is going to control the movement of the suspension. It's going to allow the same amount of movement that the original equipment bush gave it, but it's not going to be allowing as much movement, so you get more direct sense of what the car's doing through the steering wheel. But critically, again, it's free pivoting in the same way as the front bush is, and all SuperPro bushes are. What it won't do is cause an increase in noise and vibration. So what you won't feel is a harsher ride quality, you won't feel that the car's noisier, but you will feel a more direct sense of what the car's doing through the steering, which is critically important. And because it's SuperPro's material, it is very durable, so it will not change. So it will continue to function in this way for a long, long time after it's been fitted, and certainly a lot longer than the original equipment rubber bushes and the aftermarket alternatives that are out there will do. And this is a unique solution. There's no other bush manufacturer polyurethane or rubber otherwise, offering this sort of solution for this problem. If you want to find more about this product and also other products from SuperPro, then visit superproeurope.com.